Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Sip Fearlessly. we working, honey. Yes, we're so excited to be back with our newly branded podcast, TV show, all of that good stuff because we everywhere, okay?
Right.
Make sure that you catch us on all major platforms. Formerly The Fearless Show. Thank you for everybody who's been rocking with us from the beginning. We really appreciate it. But we definitely wanted to do a rebrand because we wanted to share our story as sisters and our journey and just, inspire and motivate others. And one of our favorite things is to sit down and have conversations and sip on something. Okay, so Sip Fearlessly naturally came to us,
right.
And we're enjoying it and having a good time. And also shout out to Bel Air for the sponsorship. And yeah, we here, another dope episode, another dope guest. Okay,
Yes.
so if you guys don't know, but like I always say, as you should already, I'm your girl Sue Fearless.
And I'm Gigi.
All right, so and we are here with the infamous Amadeuz.
Yeah, what's up? And you said my name right, so that's good.
Hey.
Yeah. I said that in the last interview. That's always a problem. They always kind of twist the name, or it's like I know it's too long. It's like I should have pre-calculated the name.
Oh, that's what makes you unique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I love it. The infamous. Like you have to add the infamous in front of it.
Of course.
Yes, it reminds me like of my journey real quick when I never named myself Sue Fearless, and somebody did, one of my close friends, and when he said it, I was like, ooh, that's big shoes to fill, So since then, I've been working on filling those shoes. So now we love it. The infamous Amadeus, we
Thank
love
you.
it.
Yes.
Thank you.
And this is such a long time coming. I know we were supposed to meet last year.
Last year. Mm-hmm.
So, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Kwanzaa,
all the dope
Hanukkah,
things you've been
all that.
doing.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's dive in a little bit right away. So let's talk about your love of music and that journey and where it started and where you're from.
Yeah, so born and raised in the Bronx, Marble Hill section.
Ayy.
Marble
Yeah,
Hill section of the Bronx. Everything that you see me doing now, it comes from the perspective of not only being an MC, but being an MC who didn't want to wait for anybody to do anything for me. So when you see me direct 170 music videos, that's because nobody wanted to shoot my video. When you see me at Shade 45 playing my own records, that's because DJs didn't want to play my records. When you see just a lot of the different things that I do, it came from that perspective. It's just as time went on, it just wasn't my destiny to hold a mic as an artist. It was more to come from this perspective and give the journalistic aspect and then also entertain the listeners through their commutes. Right, because that's important, right? You're driving home. People hate radio. Radio suck, right? But for the most part, I think we can all kind of agree, like when it comes to like what we hear in our cars. But I've been able to build a community every single week. They know at 3:00 it's a movie. They're having a good time. I'm getting them ready for the weekend. I got them in the left lane. And and that's just speeding. HOV lane is permitted if you're riding one deep while I'm mixing. But yeah, that's just what it is. It just comes from the perspective of understanding the struggles that the artists go through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I feel like everything happens the way it's supposed to, and I feel like everything that you do in life leads to ultimately, what it is that you're meant to do. So I think you're still tapping into your talents, you're still tapping into your creativity, everything that you're passionate about. And by I love your voice.
Thank you,
I love
thank
your
you,
voice.
thank
It
you.
reminds me of Jadakiss.
Yeah, I know everybody says that. I had I was on a lot of people don't know I spent a lot of time around D Block.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time, like I was involved in like some of the tours. I shot a video for Jadakiss called Closed Casket. I shot another one for Styles P. And it was getting to the point, this is when I knew it was serious. Like we would be in the same room and people would be looking to see who's talking. Yeah, like they look like, and I'm like, it's a little frustrating. I'm like, I keep saying I sound like somebody. I sound like me. Y'all bugging,
Right.
Y'all bugging.
Right.
And then one day he told me, he's like, I feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm like, all right, I feel you. He a legend, so you just gotta accept it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but listen, this is uniquely you. But
Yeah,
I love
it
your
is.
voice.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure like that's why one of the reasons why people tap in too, because people fall in love with like personalities,
Yeah.
voices, and stuff like that. You have a perfect like
Thank
radio
you.
voice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's talk a little bit about like your rap journey and maybe like some advice you can give like some upcoming rappers.
Yeah.
What's something that you felt like you didn't know when you was coming in the industry that now you can talk about.
I didn't know that the music business was 90% business, 10% music. I wish if I would have known that from the jump, probably would even be further than where I am now. Right? I'm going to be 41 on March 9th. And I'm proud of it, so I'll say it all
That's
the time.
right.
People want to cuff their
Yes.
age. Nah, I'm 41, my brother. I'm good. I mean,
Right.
but yeah, Biggie died on my 14th birthday. So it's like a hood holiday, obviously, right? And I just happened to be born that day. But I wish if I would have known that early on, I may even be further. Not that I'm not far now, but I may even be further. And just when it comes to the young artists, I feel like they don't put enough personality in their music. I don't know anything about you except the fact that you like to turn up, smoke za, and you have 100 women, around you. I don't know that your rent's not due. I don't know, grandma got cancer. Like, there's nothing to relate. And in my opinion, just as a curator of music, that is the main difference. It's not so much about sonics, right? Das Effects wasn't the greatest lyricist, right? They were like bum skibbity bum. I mean, what's the difference between that and like a Migos, right? There's not really that much of a difference. It's just the music, right? But there was at least some sort of relatability towards the record. So I think artists need to kind of give more of their personality on their music.
Yeah, like tell a story, right? Like we were talking about.
Tell your story.
Your story,
That's
right.
the point. Like you're painting a canvas. Like tell your story, whatever that is, because someone's gonna relate to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So someone I had one of my projects went gold as an artist, ironically. And I think the reason why it went gold is because I showed an enormous amount of vulnerability on the album. Like I spoke about, problems with my daughter, infidelity, my growing up where I lived. I spoke about political stuff. I also gave you a vibe, right? And I think the audience connected to it in a nice way. And I just wish more artists would do it.
Right.
I just feel like they're kind of scared, for whatever reason. Social media has made everyone antisocial.
That's what it is.
And they following trend. That
They live
just
on their
copying.
phone, and there's no more like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
And let's go outside. You just feel like everybody through a phone screen, so that's...
Right. Yeah, I feel like there's no vulnerability anymore when it comes to music. I feel like you said, the trends, the TikToks, the this, the that, the violence on the songs. What's the I don't know why it's slipping my head. The type of music that's out, the drill music.
Yeah.
Like I feel like everybody's kind of just riding a wave,
Yeah.
and not taking the time to figure out who they are as an artist,
Yeah.
and identify themselves that way and separate themselves, because I feel like that's also what attributes to success in the music business when you learn how to do that.
Of course.
How to, separate yourself and become a unique individual artist.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And a lot of the music just displays one emotion.
Right.
So the only emotion that you're giving me is partying and vibing. I don't know nothing else. I don't feel anything else. I don't know when you're sad. I don't know when you're angry. I don't even really know if you are angry because you're changing your voice. You try to sound like me, but you sound like her. Like, it's like, it's a lot happening,
Right.
It's a lot happening.
Right.
Yeah, you have to have versatility too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's what it makes me think about. Because if you're only turning up all the time, then that's the only time I'm gonna listen to you.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
When I'm
it.
gonna
Turning
turn
on,
up.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I like that you mentioned the business part too, because that's also like a huge detriment to artists, is because they don't know the business part of it. Like on Media Mayhem Day that we had here with DSN, we talked to a young artist from Canada, and that's one thing that he told us. He was in a horrible deal, and he's like, they were trying to take out life insurance on him, and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that a lot of the times that is a lot of the detriment.
Yeah, I mean, reading is definitely fundamental.
Yes.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And I guess the sadness about that is that they have access to the information without leaving their bed. You literally go and turn on your device, and whatever it is that you want to accomplish, whatever you want to know, you can find. But you have to actually be interested in it, right? And being interested in music doesn't just mean recording.
Right.
You got to do other things, right? You got to do other things. Like I'm on the radio, right? I have to be interested in, okay, who's listening to me, right? What is the age range of people that are listening? So the people that own cars in America, they're basically between 43 and 55 years old, right? This is a known fact. And the happy medium, somewhere in the middle, like you'll get like the average of 35-year-olds that are in the car. So why would I play records that they can't relate to?
Right.
This is why you change the station, because you don't understand it, you don't relate to it, right? And that's also a part of just kind of learning like where you need to be and the space that you need to operate in. And I think everybody will be more successful, but also get a better end of the deal if you come into it understanding these things.
Right.
Exactly. Absolutely. So let's talk about a little bit of your journey going into a Sirius XM.
I was on a show on National Geographic called Underworld Inc. Just a quick backstory. So basically, I was hot as a video director. I think I had shot the was it the Papoose video? It was Papoose, Jada Kiss, Jim Jones, Ice-T. It's called 6 a.m. Right? I had just kind of directed this video, and I used to show up to the sets like to make extra money with nutcrackers. Because the liquor stores are closed. We in areas like this, nobody want to go to the store. So I'm popping out 400 nutcrackers, and it just started going crazy. And I learned something called search engine optimization, right? Which is basically SEO. And I figured out how to make nutcrackers be at the top of the Google page.
Okay.
Right? When you search the word nutcracker, even over the play and over the the little toys that they have for Christmas. So National Geographic, they were doing this show called Underworld Inc. They also do was it Locked Up Abroad and Drugs Inc.
Yeah.
And they had filmed the whole entire episode in like Arkansas with like guys mining moonshine, and they wanted to urbanize it. And it just so happened when they searched, the first thing they found was the Facebook page.
Look at that.
For my nutcracker drink. So they straight up inboxed me on Facebook, Wall to Wall Productions. Listen, we doing this. This is the idea. We want to come meet you. They met me. I was filming in 2 days. Obviously, you know, National Geographic is one of the biggest television platforms.
Yes.
Like, it reaches worldwide, right? And the guy that brought me to SiriusXM saw me on National Geographic, and he had a show on Fridays called The Drunk Mix, where basically people will call in, like, what are you drinking, whatever. And he posted my picture on Instagram. This is the facts. He posted my picture on Instagram, and then we got in contact, and I went up there as a guest first. And then when he ended up getting the primetime slot after Sway in the Morning, they brought me on the film. Okay. And then from there, I worked my way in. Nice. Basically by showing up every day, talking to everybody in the building, figuring out how radio works. He had like a little health issue at one time, and I was bringing guest DJs. Like I was bringing everybody, Drewski, Self, Red Alert. And I seen it, like, you know what? I need to learn how to DJ because that is my way to get my own real estate on the radio. So I bought a laptop, and one day I was in a spot. DJ Self left at 3:30. I saw the guard with an iPod at this time. Yo, get out of here. I plugged in with the house DJ. How do you work the Serato? And I figured it out, and here we are. Nice. And it just built from there. And I guess I say all that to say that. It happened by not making excuses or not putting limitations on myself. A lot of times we don't understand on the other side of fear, there's such a reward on the other side, but you let fear block your blessings. And you be limiting yourself, and you don't even know. You know what I mean? So just by me moving that way, here we are.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's the magic of pivoting, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So a lot of us had to do that during the pandemic too. And I think we hold ourselves back a lot because we kind of fall in love with a dream and we don't know how to let it go.
Yeah.
We don't know how to grow.
Yeah.
So I think that's really dope that, you know, you were able to identify that and learn, right? Like we were just talking about.
Yeah, learn,
Turn over the cardboard and look at the instructions on how to get better at those things.
Facts,
You know, and how to see what was missing. But I love that SEO
Yeah,
We
search
can talk
engine
about that.
search
Okay.
engine optimization. You know?
Because a lot of people don't know about that either, right?
Yeah.
How to market yourself in a way where you're reachable and
Mm-hmm.
people can find you, not just on social media. Because things didn't start with just social media, y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
There's so many other
There's
outlets.
so many
Yeah.
outlets.
Yeah,
There's so many
absolutely.
outlets.
So run us through a little bit about like how do you engage your audience? You know, I know you use music and all of that, but how do you engage your audience, right? Because us as podcasters, that's something
Right.
that's very
Yeah.
important for us.
So one of the things that I did that really worked during the pandemic is I stopped talking this way and I started talking that way. That was the one thing that started making all my content go viral. Like I'm no longer, sitting with someone and like having an interview. Like I'm talking directly to the viewer. And I've started doing like short form content. Again, I realized that my fan base is this like 35 to 55 real hip hop. So I just started talking about the topics that I knew that they would be interested in. Right. And it just started clicking. Like it started clicking, keeping the video short, keeping the videos to the point, putting the captions on the screen, and always using whatever I'm writing at the bottom as a question, right? So if you look at my Instagram, I'll be like, who's the next artist to do the Punchline Academy? And I'll put eyeballs and a question mark, and now it automatically creates a conversation.
Right.
Because not only am I talking to them, but I'm asking them a question that's going to engage with my content.
Right.
So that's something that anybody could do. I just noticed that really worked for me.
Yeah. So definitely identifying demographic is super important because then you can just take it from there and
You have to know who your audience is.
Right.
This whole entire game is niche audiences.
Yes.
Right? I always like to use the example like if you follow a cooking page, right? You literally follow this person for cooking. And all of a sudden one day he started showing you how to fix tires. You're going to be like, I could follow somebody else for that, right? So again, you need to identify your audience and literally just stay there.
Yeah.
As long as you stay there, it'll take some time, but if you put the work in, I think you'll get the results that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so interesting that you said like talk to the camera, right? So that's something that I try to do often when we're doing the podcast. But sometimes people have like different ideas of that. Some people say it's better to look to the side and talk to the side.
Well, in this type of situation, you want to talk to your guests,
Right.
right? So, because at this time I had my podcast. It was before I had the show a series. So, talk to your guests. I just decided to make like additional content where it was geared towards the audience. So I guess like whatever's the topic of your show, if it's like sipping, feeling good, maybe you could do something like directly.
Right.
And it's just something you do on the side. Get a little ring light, put your phone on the tripod and just, hey, how you doing? And just talk to you.
Yeah.
Do you go on? Do you use live a lot? Do you go on a lot of live?
Not anymore because I'm also preparing for like this whole thing that's about to happen to me right now, right? I'm being basically thrown into the seat now. You know what I mean? I've been on the radio for 7 years, but I've never been the person like doing the interviews. I've been in control of the room, but now it's my room, right? So I'm kind of preparing for that. So no, I haven't been doing lives. But when I was doing the lives all the time, that's how I built the whole fan base with the artists. Because I was getting an opportunity to come on my platform, rap. I was having guys battle and stuff. So it is good to go live and engage with them.
Yeah. So speaking about battle, that was actually going to be my follow-up question. So I know that you in the past have put ciphers together and stuff like that. So how do you pick the artists that you want to include in the ciphers?
Previously, it's just basically been about bars. It's been about lyrics. And I also like to, and I will continue to reward young people for at least trying to rap.
Okay.
Like if I see a young person, 14, 15 years old, obviously, our style of music ain't their style of music, right? But if they bust a rhyme on a Nas joint, even if it's okay, I'm like, yo, come on, let's go.
Right.
Because you need to see again, you want to be rewarded for your work, right? And sometimes you're following what you think is a trend, and maybe it's not working out for you. Maybe you're just competing in a sea that's just too flooded. You're in the pond and there's just too many fish in the pond. But if you pivot a little bit and it works for you, that might spark a change that will change the entire culture.
Right.
Right? So that's it. I mean, now moving forward, now with the Punchline Academy, always gonna show love to the independent artists. We're gonna have like obviously a little criteria now. Like, you know, you can't have 2 followers on Instagram, obviously, but you gotta be a dope. You gotta be a dope lyricist. I would prefer if you had something out. You know, if you have just something to promote.
Right.
And you just gotta be ready to rap. I don't let people pick beats in advance. Nothing. You show up, you're a rapper. You got 2 verses, dump. You know, so, and we've been able to make magic.
Yeah, because it seems like for you, like bars is what matters. Bars is one of the most important things.
Well, because of my fan base, like me identifying my fan base. So I learned to actually DJ in the strip club environment, right? It was the easiest place for me not to get judged sonically. Like, imagine me trying to go to a Rakim concert, trying to learn how to DJ. Right? Sonically, it was just easier. The person that is listening to me is not worried about me because they're looking at the girls.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So this is genius.
Right.
Right? So this is why I learned how to DJ, right? But the mistake that I made is that when I first started DJing on the radio, because that was the vibe that I'm in, I took it to the radio and the listeners weren't interacting with me because I was basically DJing for myself. This is the main problem with like all these conversations that we have. A lot of times you tend to do things for yourself instead of doing things for the people that are watching you.
Right.
Your audience.
That's so true.
So once I started to identify, okay, this is not my audience. Let me figure out who my audience is. All right, these are the people that listen to me. Then I just started to switch the program. You know, it was a slow burn. Switched the program, and then once I tapped in, it took off.
Right. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So, I mean, tell us a little bit about what's next. I know you talked about what is it called? The where you're holding the ciphers?
Yeah. So the Punchline Academy is a new
Punchline
show on Shade 45. We start March 6th.
Okay.
And I'll be on Wednesdays 7 to 9. This is a special spot. This was K Slay's spot on Shade 45. And, you know, they just didn't give it to anybody. Like, they've been literally holding it for the right time, and the stars aligned in the way where they picked me, right? You know, for all the reasons that we spoke about, like showing up, you know, keeping it authentic, really caring about who's listening to me, really caring about who's watching me on social media. So the Punchline Academy, we start March 6th. My final Thursday will be this Thursday. So, you know, shout out to my left laners on Thursdays. I'm gonna go crazy with y'all this Thursday, but hopefully they'll tap in starting March 6th on Wednesdays for the Punchline Academy.
What time are you on Thursdays?
So I'm on at 3 and at noon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
and it's this is like high commute and it's left lane. I just play like, you know, the dope stuff.
Nice. I love that. So, in our podcast, we like to have moments where we, you know, get a little deep, get a little intimate.
Let's do it,
you know,
yeah.
And we like to talk about, you know, relationships and stuff like that because we feel like it's important to emphasize on the people we keep around us.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That
Yeah.
helps us with
Yeah.
our growth and elevation. So I've heard nothing but great things from you and your lady.
Miss Adams, she's here.
In
Yeah.
the building. Yeah. I heard nothing but great things about y'all. So we want to ask you guys a little bit of questions on like relationship and how has it been, you know, dating and being in the industry.
Yeah. So I've been with Miss Adams for 19 years.
Oh, God bless.
Next year will be 20. So the same person that I was broke with, struggling with, the whole story is the same person that I'm with now. It's the same person that I purchased my first house with, the same person I moved my kids out of New York. And now that I'm going into this whole other journey, this is the person that I am giving the responsibility as she deserves to be my point person.
Yes.
Right? Right? A lot of times, you know, I learned early on that I would judge a guy by the way he act with his girl. Because you act a certain way with us, but then on the side you yelling at your girl, spaz, and you probably, you know, doing all types of crazy stuff. And if you're doing that with the most vulnerable person that you're with every day, that's not someone that I want to be around. So I always make sure that I set the example for other people that are watching, right? We're public figures. People are always watching.
Right.
So dating, no dating for me. But I will tell you that time that I was like in the strip club, I probably could have lost my marriage at that time because I was so tunnel vision on the goal. Right? This is the goal. It's like, all right, I need to learn how to DJ. This is the only place that I can interact with celebrities, and the only place that I can interact with other DJs and radio people. There's no clubs, right? With that, you already know what comes with it: drinking every night, getting fried. The looking at women, let's say, all the temptations, right? And then you gonna slip, right? So I say that the pandemic was great for me because the pandemic made me reset.
Right.
Great timing. great timing for the pandemic. And I'm not ashamed to talk about any of these things. Just like I'm not ashamed to tell you my age or other things that I've been through because it's a part of my story. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes us human, and I think that's what makes us actually like people. Like, damn, you really go through this stuff. Like, yeah, I go through it just like y'all.
Exactly.
So, like, during those times when it was challenging, right? You were in a strip club, you were out every night. Like, what from your part did you make sure that you did to help your partner feel secure?
Bring her around. Bring her around, especially like in the social media era. Era where I'm not saying her, just women in general or people in general compare themselves to other people because you're just watching it down your timeline all the time. So I tried to bring her around, as much as possible, keep it reassuring, making sure that I got back home, right? When it was time, but also try to keep the foundation. You know what I'm saying? And we was going through a lot of stuff too. A sister passed away, and we took on 2 other kids. So I basically had 5 kids at one time in an apartment in the Bronx, right? And we had decided because I had just a quick backstory. So I had got custody of my daughter. We had 2 in the crib, my daughter, and then the other 2 came in, and we had decided to stay in New York for a year more in a small 2-bedroom apartment because we didn't want to disrupt them from trying to get out of junior high school. Remember, they're going through traumatic experiences, right?
Yes, I can relate.
2 kids just lost their mom. My daughter was going through like a whole problematic situation with her mom, right? So we sacrificed that, and we came out great on the other side. We moved out of state, big house, the English bulldog. Right. We got a cat now named Hazel, and it actually worked out. I think you just gotta keep your eyes on the prize and do not get distracted along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And I think you showed up for her and gave her, a place to feel safe.
Yeah.
Because you were communicative and you brought her around. And I'm pretty sure y'all still went through challenges because everybody does.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But doing that helps.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes a lot of us, get into relationships, especially, dating somebody in the industry where like they're always busy all the time. So we start complaining about that.
Yeah.
But as long as the person makes some time, whether it's, let me just pop in real quick, make sure you're good, give you a hug and a kiss. All right, I got to go work now.
Right.
I think that's super important.
And what's also important is that now I've been able to fully involve her now in like everything that's happening.
Good.
Like you're my point
Partner.
You're my point person on Instagram, And I think one of the things about transitioning into like this like 90s hip hop music is like now we're dealing with adults. Right? I'm not interacting with children in a strip club. Right? So we interacted with adults where everyone kind of has like more of an understanding of life because we've all kind of been through things. We're not figuring out anymore, right? We know in our 40s where we want to be, in our late 30s, right? So, well, some of y'all got to get y'all shit together. Yeah, over the currency, y'all better get y'all fucking shit together because y'all is slacking, all right?
No, but you're right. You can't show what you used to show, back then, because then it's like, where's the growth?
Yeah, I mean, you got to clean up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And also a part of being an older person is at some point you realize that it ain't forever.
Right.
The time is ticking, right? And you realize that you kind of live like you're just young until you hit like 35, and then once you're like 35, you're like, oh wait. Shit about to get real. It's about to go left. It's all downhill, right?
Right.
And
It's uphill. Let's not say downhill.
Let's not say, they say why.
Well, not because everything starts to change. You know what I'm saying? Start to slow down. I mean, this is the reality, right? So I've always been foresighted So I've kind of always like, all right, I see this coming. Let me just prepare myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, I feel like we got to look at it like this, right? We're climbing, let's say we're climbing a mountain, we're climbing a hill, whatever it is, right? So that's our teens, that's our 20s,
Yeah.
that's our 30s. We reach the peak,
Peak.
boom, in our 40s. And it's like, yeah, we're going down, but now we're going down making the best decisions that we
Of
can
course,
make.
yeah.
We're tripping over less rocks,
Yeah.
right? We're
Yeah.
falling down
Yeah.
less, you know
Because
what
you
I
have the
mean?
experience. Yeah, you have the experience, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. I love your union. God bless it.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very important, and it's very rare to see in the industry again.
Yeah.
It's very rare to see. So thank you for showing that example.
Yeah,
being
I
that
think
example.
people are kind of afraid to like show this for whatever reason. 'Cause They
Right.
feel like they're gonna be judged
Right.
or
That's
whatever.
what it is. The
But when you're an adult, you don't give a fuck anymore.
Right.
It's like
exactly. Exactly.
like this is what it is, and that's it.
That is a fact. So before we close out, I do want to ask you a question.
Okay, shoot
So
for it.
being that music is your passion,
Mm-hmm.
what particular song would you say evokes your strongest memories?
Probably Dear Mama, Pac.
Okay.
Probably
Okay.
that song speaks to me in a different way.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, like if I had to sum it up,
Mm-hmm.
Dear Mama, and then there's this other song. It's not really a rap song, but it's just by this group called Joe Public, and it was called Live and Learn. And Live and Learn was like the first record that I ever heard that made me want to like be involved with hip hop in some sort of way. Like these guys, I'm from the Bronx. These guys on the side of the West Side Highway playing guitars, pianos in the rain. Like one guy's singing, another guy's rapping, and they on like a New Jack Swing beat. So anytime I see that, I always get that like smile.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, I remember when I first saw that. Now look, yeah. So I would say those two records.
Yeah. What about you, G? You
I don't
think
know.
of
I was
one?
here thinking. I'm a Kanye West head. There's a lot of music I listen. When I listen to his music, specific songs I cannot think of the top of my head right now. I
Yeah.
reminisce, and I like his
Yeah.
music, his
Yeah.
lyrics, and the time periods and how his music has changed. So there's like in each album, there's the song which right now I cannot think of.
Right.
But yeah, I really can't think of the song right now. But Kanye West brings me,
Yeah.
to my music.
Brings it to your vibe.
and yeah.
Yeah. Kanye's dope. Kanye West has a song called I Wonder. It was on the third album, and so I haven't been able to fully announce that I'm getting the show. Like I'm doing like the promo run now, but we're making an official announcement on Monday, right?
Okay.
So I had kind of
You
played.
heard it here first.
Yeah. So I kind of played this record on the radio because it's like I wonder, like you're gonna find your dreams come true. So I had like kind of stopped the whole mix. And I'm like, this is what I'm feeling. Radio's up, go on the show to put the blinkers on, like
I love that. Music is just a vibe. Like
Yeah.
I'm a music head, so music always makes me feel good. Like for me, I'm Latina, so like thinking about the music that my parents used to listen to when I was younger, that always brings me nostalgia. Biggie. I can remember when I was young, I was into Biggie, Pac, Mary J, and I remember I used to have like a purple, green, pink, and orange boombox that I used to carry with me on the trips all the time. And I used to be like a loner, but I used to bond with people.
It's a
and stuff.
cassettes?
But the
Cassettes,
music,
yeah.
like the music and the boombox attracted me to my tribe.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I remember that, and shit, I was thinking about I just had it at the tip of my tongue. Andre 3000
Oh,
and Big Boy, The Love Below.
Oh,
That
fire.
album
That's
is
a fire.
vibes.
That's fire,
That
yeah.
album is vibes.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of that brings me memories.
There's like some good records we named. I'm gonna have to put this in the playlist.
Hey. Well, it was so dope to have
Thank you.
Like,
Finally. Thank you.
Right?
Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. We really appreciate your
Thank you guys for
vulnerability,
having
this
me. Yeah.
conversation.
Thank you.
Like, thank you for dropping your exclusive with us.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we're definitely gonna tap in on Thursday, so we'll be
Tap in on
honoring
Thursday.
you.
Once again,
Yeah.
Wednesday, March 6th, the Punchline Academy comes to Shade 45, Sirius XM. You can listen, hosted with myself, the infamous Amadeuz. You're going to get everything that you expect from me. You're going to get the Left Lane mix, which is it's like my 90s hip hop mix.
Oh, that's
or whatever,
definitely
like
us.
whatever mood I'm in. If it's like a holiday, y'all going to get some Mary, you're going to get some Jade, something like that. I'll be breaking new records, but more importantly, I'll be bringing the important conversations to the listeners and to the world, and we gonna make niggas rap. Period.
Right.
So we making everybody rap.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing.
I
Period.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come support if you
Yes.
want us to.
Yeah, pull up. Yeah.
All right,
Pull
Queen,
up.
we'll come support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep you company.
Yeah.
Let's not shy away from our youth though, because this young lady right here, our intern, loves 90s music.
Yes.
Yeah.
My kids love
Yeah.
90s music. My daughter wants my playlist.
Yeah.
So we still have an audience out there.
Nice.
So
Nice, yeah.
absolutely. So we'll
You
we'll
give
put
us
it out there
hope
for
because
sure.
it's dark.
Right.
Listen.
Right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
again.
guys. Thank you.
And that was another episode of Sip Fearlessly, y'all.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Make sure you grab a drink, sit down, and catch up on our 3 new episodes, and we'll be back.
Yep. Peace.
This is another DWI